MotorWeek is made possible by TireRack.com, Rain-X, Hum by Verizon, State Farm, and WeatherTech.
If you're a regular viewer of our show, you're probably asking, another Panamera? Well, yes. This time, it's the GTS and the GTS Sport Turismo. If you go to Porsche's website and search for the Panamera, you'll see 18 different versions to choose from, which seems like a lot because, well, it is a lot. But Porsche is hardly the only automaker trying to fill every conceivable category in the luxury performance market, and the Panamera GTS represents a Goldilocks model. Appropriately, Porsche invited me and my Golden Locks to Bahrain for a first drive in the Panamera GTS to see if it's just right. The 4.8-liter naturally aspirated V8 from the previous GTS is replaced with a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 pumping out 453 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque. With the turbo seated between both banks separated at a 90-degree angle, peak torque arrives at 1800 RPM and runs all the way to 4500 RPM. This gets to all four wheels via 8-speed PDK, which continues to be the benchmark for dual-clutch transmissions. Both fascias add blacked-out trim pieces, but it's the car's rear end where it really separates itself from your run-of-the-mill Panamera. Standard sport exhaust tips peek out the back, while a 3-piece active wing shoots up and out from the electric tailgate of the sedan. The Sport Turismo uses an active roof-mounted spoiler. The GTS also sees the first application of a head-up display in the Panamera lineup. Inside the GTS, you have Alcantara just about everywhere, which if you're an Alcantara fan, that's great news. I'm not a huge fan, especially when it's on the steering wheel like it is now. It dries my hands out, it feels slippery. Luckily, there is a leather option. You can get leather seats, a leather steering wheel, and then when you do move up to a leather option, you have the chance of getting ventilated seats. GTS models ride 10 millimeters lower than a standard Panamera and come equipped with an adaptive air suspension. After a morning of a lot of city driving, highways, just about everything Bahrain has to offer, I gotta say the Panamera GTS is just downright comfortable. There's no other way to say it, and in my opinion, it's every bit as comfortable as a standard Panamera, and that's what Porsche wants with the GTS. It should be drivable every day. And now we're headed to the racetrack to see the other part of the GTS, which is its track performance. Yep, there it is. It gets up and goes in a straight line. This Panamera GTS sedan will go 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. And I got on those carbon ceramic brakes, which are optional. Now we're getting into some of the switchbacks, and this is really where you feel the weight. It actually doesn't roll as much as you'd think. Part of that is due to my test car's optionally equipped Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control Sport, which takes advantage of a 48-volt system to electronically actuate stabilizers. PDCC Sport also combines torque vectoring technology. Rear axle steering is available as well. So comparing this GTS on the track to other models, obviously better than a standard Panamera. That's the only one I haven't driven on the track, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is a little bit better than that, just because it's a different car, and that's exactly what a GTS is supposed to do, slot right in between a base Panamera and something more performance-oriented. While the Panamera GTS may hit the sweet spot when it comes to driving performance, its price makes us pucker. On sale now, the Panamera GTS starts at over $128,000, with the Sport Turismo adding about $6,000 to that. We'll have more on the Panamera GTS in an upcoming episode of MotorWeek.